Now, I want to talk about something which is a little bit more political, and Americans are very sensitive to it, and rightfully so. So, obviously, there's this balloon, and the air is being sucked out, some people think. What's your take on economic implications of offshoring?
I think it is a win-win. We Americans thought the world to globalize. Now that it is globalizing, we don't want to forget globalization ourselves. There are a lot of studies. The best one and most in-depth one was done by McKinsey Global Institute. And they found that when there is an outsourcing, 85% of the financial benefit accrues to the US client, 15% goes to India. So it actually has helped us check inflation in services to some extent. It has helped us actually give a little better customer experience or service because there are more people that can be put to some of these processes. And it is a win-win in the sense that I'm going to back up a little bit. When I was in India, I used to be asked this question from a different perspective. I was giving a speech at some 2,000 people in Bangalore, and somebody in the audience in the Q&A session said, "You are doing nothing but exploiting Indian talent or labor. They are nothing but techno coolies to the West." So there was some sensitivity from their perspective as well. And my answer then as now is that when two countries start to trade with each other, one is very rich, other very poor, rich country doesn't become poor. Rich country becomes a little richer. Poor country becomes a lot better, and over time they converge. That's called the theory of convergence. We saw that with Korea, Taiwan, Hong Kong, Singapore. They opened up and they have moved up here. We saw that with China. They opened up in 1979, and China is going to pass USA someday, possibly in my lifetime. India opened up in 91, and their growth rate has been triple what it was before.
Right.
But US growth rate hasn't slowed down too, apart from this economic calamity which will pass. We have grown as well. So sure, there are dislocations, there are near-term individual cases of winners and losers, but if you look at a macro perspective, both countries win. So I don't think balloon analogy is really the right one. The size of the balloon actually will grow if you do trade.
So have you come across any studies that say this is the size of the company in terms of either revenue or number of employees, generally speaking, that companies should think of offshoring?
I've not come across a study which describes the size of the company, other than to say larger the number of people, larger the process, more economical it is to offshore because there are some fixed costs. Other than that, I've not come across a study. I think every situation is kind of unique based upon the process, based upon the size of the operation, based upon what you're trying to do, who your partner is. There are a lot of other things that come into play. If you cut corners, like some of the outbound cold calling, who kind of bother you during dinner time, then that is not going to be a good experience. They are not going to hire the best talent. They are not going to train them. They are not going to audit. They are not going to do a lot of other things which should be in a good process.
So are there companies that provide you an assessment of offshoring potential for a company?
Yeah, there are a lot of, I'm not going to mention the names naturally, but there are a lot of boutique companies and large companies who help large companies and mid-sized companies in just navigating through the whole process, all the way from identifying what processes to offshore to actually doing this. Some would actually build, own, and transfer. the operations. So they will build it, they will own it. You pay them a fee, and then after the process is mature, then you can buy off the whole operation and and make it captive to your operations. So there are multiple models which are happening.